Hello, welcome. So today we're going to talk about why it can be challenging to get into deeper diaphragmatic breathing, as well as those nice, slow, prolonged relaxation breath work when we are moving. Now, when we are in Sukhasana, easy pose, it's much easier, right, to have that linear connectedness to the body. We're inhaling deeply. We're rising through the side body. We are having a nice elongated spine. We're neutralizing. We can focus, right? We feel grounded. We can focus on our breath work. We can connect with the breath work. It's when we're moving around that we tend to lose the capability to get into pranayama, which is why in a lot of vinyasa practices, when you're in downward facing dog, that is the time to get back into your pranayama practice, right? You're taking your 5 rounds of breath, you're taking those deep inhales, you're retaining your exhale, you're prolonging that exhale, and you take that for a few rounds, and then you're back in movement, you're back in flow, and your breath has to catch up to that. So that is quite normal, right? Now, the challenge is when we've had a lot of tightness for whatever reason, right? Tightness in the pelvis is actually more common than it's ever been, partially because we sit a lot more. We're not squatting to eat and cook and garden and poo, right? So we're actually getting a lot of compression happening in our lower body organs. Now, keep in mind, I always like to remind my students that our bladder is sort of hanging out here. And if we're only breathing superficially, which most of us are, then it's like instead of squeezing the bladder completely so that it can release and we can get some relief and we can fully urinate or fully digest, it's sort of kind of hovering, just a little compression, never fully getting in and out of our body's normal mechanics. So we have to do this. We have to help our body. So when we take those deep inhalations, inhale, 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 we're releasing the pelvic floor. Exhale, 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 exhale. Keep it going. We are getting that compression that the body needs. So in Pranayama's own infinite wisdom, it is teaching the body how to do the appropriate amount of oxygen connectedness, right? And CO2, right? So we're getting that perfect balance when we are really focused on our breath, which is what we want. Mechanically, the body's getting what it needs, the lungs are getting what it needs, the brain is getting what it needs. It's an all-around happy time. Now, with that said, we're going to focus on a few rounds of breath where we take those deeper inhales in easy pose. We find ourselves counting all the way up to 10, 12, holding it, and then exhaling equal measure or longer. So inhale 10 rounds, hold for about 4 or more, exhale 10 or more. Inhale 12, hold for 4 or more, exhale for 12 or more, right? And then if you want to add in that final retention on the exhale, getting deeper into that CO2, then you can, creating that full pranayama practice. So I'm going to leave that part up to you because you're going to want to take a few rounds and see what works best for you. Now you can start 8 for 8, 8 for 10, 10 for 10, 10 for 12, right? We just want those inhales to be long, expressive, diaphragmatic, and we want those exhales to be even longer, if not then equal measured, okay? Now, how do we do that when we're moving the body? That's the challenge. So some of my favorite practices to get the body ready is coming into bound angle pose. Now, we don't want to force the body down. We want it to be nice and natural. So your hands can be anywhere they need to be. You can place some blocks or bolsters under the knees so that there's no need to kind of create something that's not naturally happening in the body, because we want the body to feel like with every exhale, it naturally relaxes on its own. So as you inhale and exhale, the body gets an opportunity to respond. So from Sukhasana pose, if you chose to do 8-4-8 ratio breathing, maybe in bound angle, you can do 10-4-10 or 8-4-10, okay? So once you've done it in Sukhasana easy pose, you've done it in bound angle, then we're gonna come over into all four. And I like to do some cat-cows with my breath. So inhale, exhale. Take about 3 rounds each. Neutralize your spine. Eye gaze is in between your thumbs to neutralize the back of your neck, which follows all the way to the tailbone. And then you're going to change the breath work, right? Then you're going to do the inhale and exhale. So just changing the pattern, doing that 3 times. Might feel really good to drop or dip your hips to each side, hanging out, just your normal natural breath. After that, we're going to draw that leg in between the hands. Eye gaze is down, right, to neutralize the back of the spine. And we're going to lengthen that leg behind us. The toe or the foot will be flattened, okay? You can stay here and let your hips dip towards the earth, or you can walk your foot on the outer of your hand, getting into lizard. Now you can stay in this variation of lizard, or you can come all the way down in lizard, yogi's choice. Once you arrive, you're going to add in the 8-4-8, 8-4-10, 10-4-10, 10-4-12, whatever ratio you feel comfortable with, 3 rounds each side. Okay, so you're gonna want to have a little piece of paper that you have planned out your breath, or you're jotting down your breath and assessing where you're at. So there's a little bit of work that you have to do, okay? After you've done your lizard pose on each side, come back through center, get rid of any tension in your body, let it go, right? And then you're gonna come on your back, and this is a good opportunity to do some windshield wipers, release any tension. And I like to kind of start there. I'm going to add back in those lovely movements where we draw one knee in, and as we squeeze it in, you keep the other one in tabletop, and then exhale, let it go. Inhale, squeeze, exhale, release. Doing it on both sides, right? Or you can do both legs at the exact same time. And then you're going to bring your L's. Your thumbs are going to come closer to the mat. Your fingers are going to gather closest to the pelvis. You're going to look for a little squeeze or a little pressure applied. So your hands are not just kind of hanging out. They're going to get a little tired because you're asking them to do some work. From tabletop, you're going to do a toe dip and a toe dip. So eye gaze is up to neutralize the spine. Take a deep inhale, exhale, dip. Inhale up, exhale opposite side, inhale up. Now the progression would be both at the same time, but you don't have to worry about that until you want to, right? Then you're gonna come over onto one side, you're gonna come back to a seat, you're gonna come back to all four, and now we're gonna add in some bird dogs before we get into fire hydrants, right? So before we get into traditional bird dog, we're gonna lengthen one leg behind us. And I like to just undulate, going through the toes. Eye gazes are forward, towards your thumbs, neutralizing your cervical spine. Once you feel good, hands are right under the shoulders, right? You reposition. You can lift that foot, toes toward the earth. Shift your weight into the hand, opposite hand from the foot. Eye gazes stay grounded towards the earth to release the neck. Take about 3 rounds of intentional breath here. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, hold, 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 release, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. And then take it to the other side. If the box breathing with the pause is too much, you can take it to the other side, and you can do inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1, relax. So you can work up to doing 8 8 inhale, 8 exhale, or 4 can be your place that you like to be. So from bird dog, then we're going to come back to all 4. Feel free to take some cat-cows, releasing any tension in your body, okay? And then you're going to come into your fire hydrant. It's okay if your hips are stacked a little bit. So you can start nice and low. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Get higher, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Shift your weight, inhale, exhale, right? Inhale, exhale, and then getting a little taller. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Take a moment, maybe go into a child's pose and release some tension from your body, okay? Now, once you've gone through those few rounds of fire hydrant, it might be good for you to draw your knee up and bring it to the earth. Draw it up and bring it to the earth. Other side, up and bring it to the earth, up and bring it to the earth. If that doesn't feel good, if that mobility isn't working for you, you can do up. This is a little harder, back down. Up, doing some donkey kicks. Remember, eye gazes are always towards the earth. I just happen to be looking, making sure that this is looking like I wish for it to. And then switching sides, yes? Right? So taking about 3 sets, 3 rounds of breath on each side. When you're done, you can come back, release any tension in your body, and then come into Malasana. Now you can be high up into a sumo squat. You can be low into Malasana, okay? You can also have your back up against the wall, coming into a squat like so, taking your tail against the wall. So instead of being seated up like this, even though you could do that, you can come down and use the wall as your prop. Finally, my favorite is a nice little bringing my feet to the wall and allowing them to get as wide as I feel comfortable with, or even drawing my hips closer and coming into bound angle. And this is a great place to just focus on your breath or get into yoga nidra. So if this whole little set makes sense to you, jot down on a piece of paper what type of ratio breath work you want to do, which one of these exercises really makes sense for you. Start your practice with a grounding. Release your jaw, right? Spend time brushing your teeth. Spend time really allowing yourself to be expressive in your face, right? Take time throughout your day to do that. Also, make sure to imagine, whenever you can, imagine when you're taking a deep, deep inhale, you are releasing all the tension in your body. And when you're taking a nice exhale, I like to think of like the sunshine just raining on me, right? It's like you are nourishing your body every time you inhale and exhale, giving yourself that lovely connection. Finally, last thing, if you can, right? If you feel comfortable, sometimes it takes a while to work up to this. Massage your throat, massage your thyroid gland, and start humming or get a hum in there. Start to feel that vibration. Hold your fingertips on your throat as you hum. And start to really massage that space of your body. We got to teach our bodies to relax. We got to teach our bodies to get more comfortable when we're having movement, to release the pelvic floor, to engage in diaphragmatic breathing, to get out of our superficial breath work. We got to teach the jaw to relax. The jaw is very much connected to the pelvis. So when we can relax the jaw, we can relax the pelvis. There's plenty of science to prove that when we are when we see something that frightens us, or we have an experience that, let's say we have to work with someone or be around someone who brings us a little bit of tension, the digestive tract completely freezes, right? It quits working, quite literally. There's been lots of research on this where they've used children, they've used adults on eating feeding tubes, and they'll have a really nice person walk in a room who's really exciting and happy, and maybe it's like a nurse or a physician that the patient's really comfortable with, and then they'll purposely have someone else, like a stranger or someone who's just comes to take blood but doesn't ever say hello, is very just stoic, and they've watched the digestive tract completely stop, right? That's our center kind of like checking in, like, whoa, you know, trusting our gut, trusting our instincts. Well, that's great, right? That's a plus when we need to survive. That's a minus when it is a conditioned behavior and there's no threat, right? So, how do we get out of that threat? Breathe, right? Because if we're not holding our breath, then we're not scared. So, just get used to your breath work. Take some time, make some notes. Tell yourself on Monday, I'm going to do 8-4-8. On Tuesday, I'm going to breathe in 10 counts, hold for 4, exhale for 10. On Wednesday, I'm going to inhale for 12, exhale for 12, or something like that, right? Make a plan, check in with your body, see what struggles you're having. You could just be tired. You could have eaten the wrong food. You could be hot or cold. So also be mindful that your body is a complete ecosystem. Like, it's its own world. So we can't just subset something out. Like, oh, I'm going to breathe perfect today, or I'm going to do the most perfect yoga pose. I'm going to have the most perfect practice. It's everything. It's holistic. It's your entire existence is coming into play in that moment. So if you're having an off moment, you're having an off moment. That's Vadhyaya, that's self-study, that's learning about who you are. So just a quick recap, we're going to focus on our ratio breathing. We're going to focus on getting into the hips, getting into the pelvis, getting into the diaphragm, our nice deep inhalations and exhales, getting into the parasympathetic nervous system, relaxing the jaw, making facial expressions, toning the vagus nerve, humming, getting used to making sound. When you inhale, you can exhale, be vocal, right? We're going to start to get used to breathing in lots of different poses. And most importantly, just take note of what your body's feeling. And some days are going to feel better than others. Some sides of the bodies are going to feel better than others. So hopefully this gives enough information to start to create a personalized plan for yourself. Thank you for allowing me to share. Namaste.